As you may or may not know, and telling by Jean's shirt, he is Brazilian. Today is going to be a bit of a fun video, and we're going to go over 10 things that have shocked me as a North American looking to move to Brazil. So stick around and we're going to go through those.
And here's what is gonna happen on today's video. First of all, I told Christine, I asked Christine, I asked her
We shall do this.
to write it down. I have not seen what she has, written in terms of what shocked her. And I'm gonna see, maybe you will see my reaction once we go through this list. We are gonna be stop working in 2024. We are not that far away, and we will do arbitrage in Brazil. We already have a condo there that we bought in 2019, but today it's gonna be a fun video, and yeah.
Let's see what your reactions are.
This is really important. This is especially Christine. We haven't been throughout Brazil, all parts of Brazil. We have been only to Rio, Rio, São Paulo, Fortaleza, and Joao Pessoa, because we are gonna spend most of our time there. So let's go through the list. What is the first one?
So the first one, and I'm going to get it right out of the way, right off the bat, is safety. So we live in Toronto, which is an urban city here in Canada. But overall, the safety rating is pretty moderate compared to a lot of other places in the world. Well, Brazil has that reputation of being dangerous.
Yep.
It's not safe. And to be completely honest, there are certain places where I do feel unsafe in Brazil, and that's mostly in places like Rio and Sao Paulo. Not during the day walking around so much, but when you kind of get off those main touristy places, I start to feel a little uneasy. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, in Joao Pessoa, I have a completely different feeling. So in Joao Pessoa, I actually feel quite safe. Maybe it's not the best thing, but I actually feel safer than living here in Toronto. Yeah. So, safety. What are your thoughts on safety in Brazil?
I agree with you, but it depends on your. If you want to find trouble, you're going to find trouble here in Toronto and anywhere in the world. So that's the first thing. The other one is the population in Brazil. São Paulo itself, which is one of our biggest states in Brazil, its population is bigger than the population of Canada. So once we hear things like this, or in Rio, does this happen? Yeah. But if you think in terms of percentage, it's not that much. I kind of agree with Christine in terms of safety, and you might ask, she did ask this question when we were talking to a few people there, and they did mention safety is one of the things, and most of the people that we did talk to, they are actually moving from the southeast, going to the northeast part of Brazil. It doesn't mean that we don't find that in the northeast part. We do find it, but if you want to find trouble, you'll find it no matter what.
We're not looking for trouble when we get there.
That's the first one.
Second thing that actually shocked me about Brazil, and literally shocked me about Brazil, is that when you buy new property in Brazil, it literally comes with nothing. Like nothing. Not even a toilet seat. We had to buy the toilet seat.
We have to, yes, Brazilians, we understand this. When we have been living for all our lives there, it doesn't come with a toilet seat. Most people, I'm not going to say most people, but I do remember when I was, using the toilet, some of the time they didn't have that. Maybe
well, you don't use the toilet seat now. It's up all the time.
Yes, it's down. It's mostly down than up. So I am learning, but it doesn't come with toilet seat. When we were going through to receive, the condo in Brazil, Christine was saying, does it come with toilet seat? And I said, no. And she said, I'm not going to go to the place without a toilet seat.
There's certain things that are required. But I guess it's just because here in Canada, I'm assuming the US is very similar, but here in Canada, when you buy a new build property, it comes with the cabinetry and basic light fixtures, things like that. Brazil, that's not the case. You have to go in after the fact and choose all of those items. So we got the keys to the condo.
Yep.
We actually had somebody purchase a toilet seat before we went, but it was just light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, things like that. So that was, to me, that actually was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
The bathroom.
Yeah. Shower.
Yeah.
With toilet seat.
Oh my goodness. And toilet seats, thank goodness.
Yeah. It's common to us. Yeah. Brazilians out there.
Oh, this is going to
Just
be a
comment
good
below.
discussion.
Yeah.
Let me know, guys, down below. If you're Brazilian, am I off base? Are these not shocking things? Or if you're from here, would that shock you?
No.
I don't know.
That's a good one.
No toilet seat. That's shocking. All right. Next one. Punctuality in Brazil is non-existent. It doesn't happen. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't happen, but rarely did we encounter anybody who was actually punctual. Here, I grew up thinking that if I wasn't 10 minutes early for something, then I was already late. In Brazil, that is not the case.
Yeah, I would say, oh yes, it sounds good. I would say you're there, but I, as a Brazilian Canadian, I also don't like that. I do like
Yes.
punctuality, but the fact that, we're gonna meet you up at 10 o'clock, I might be leaving at 10 or I might be showering at 10, so.
Jean had warned me about it, and I thought, no problem. I had lived in Mexico already years ago, but I understood the Latino and the South American mindset where, I'm going to get there. Don't worry about it. We're going to be there. I had not grown accustomed to that. That was still a bit of a learning curve. Not that it's a big deal. You just tell everybody that you're going to do something half an hour before you want to do it, and then they're on time.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Next one. This one shouldn't shock me, but did shock me. The amount of bureaucracy in Brazil. Really, it's insane. Jean needed to send a power of attorney for something to another city. And when we were in Joao Pessoa, he actually had to go and have one place say that, yes, this is your signature. So he had to show
That's
them
the
documents.
cartório. Yeah,
had to fill out this other form that had his signature on it. Then he had to go to a completely separate place to do the power of attorney, which is a completely separate place than we had to go to register our marriage, which would be a completely separate place than we had to go to switch the ownership of the house.
Yes. Yeah.
Here in Ontario, again, only speaking from my experience here in Ontario, if we need to register our marriage, if we need a birth certificate, if we need to renew our driver's license, we go to one place.
One place. Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't have that in
We were
Brazil.
all over.
Yeah.
Is it like that everywhere? The bureaucracy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's trying to find ways to cope with some of the things that Brazil is known for, which is kind of unfortunate with corruption and everything, and they wanted to make sure. But it also goes back to years and years and years ago. Nowadays, after we came back, we realized that some of these things we can even do it online.
Yes, it's getting better.
It's getting better, but it's different services, different websites, and sometimes you don't know if they are, trustworthy or not. So it's an improvement, but it's still a reality there. So you have to go through you have to learn this word, cartórios, especially if you're planning to buy a place there.
And there was there was 10 different cartórios in Joao Pessoa, all do a different thing.
It's from one different section, right? So it's like they kind of separate into zones. So I'm responsible for this zone and you are responsible for another one. So
Craziness. The next one, and I actually really love this about Brazil, is the body positivity. I, as a North American, going to Brazil for my very first time, have this picture, and don't get me wrong, because there are extremely abundant, beautiful people in Brazil, but that stereotypical picture that we have in our heads of that bodacious Brazilian woman, they exist, don't get me wrong, but every other person is just as confident in who they are and how they look, and they're not hiding it. You go to the beach there and you see people of all different sizes, shapes, curves, putting it all out there.
Yeah.
And they love themselves for who they are, and they are the happiest people I've ever come across.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think that's an amazing trait, and that actually I was quite shocked.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say rather than yeah, agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of that is the food, because what's also shocking about Brazil is the vast selection of food. My total knowledge of Brazil prior to going with Jean was the churrascaria, where they walk around with the big sticks that have all the meat on them, and they shave them off and you eat all. So I was just thinking, Brazil's nothing but barbecue. So untrue. I don't know whether we ate a piece of beef the last trip we were in Brazil. It was all seafood, and the most delicious seafood and meats of all different types, and sausages that were just so good.
Yeah. It's not only that, like to the vegetarians out there, lots of vegetables and fruits and fresh ones, right? You go to the market, you go to the farmer's market, and you get it out of there. So it's
a banana in Brazil doesn't taste like a banana at Freshco. Everything just tastes so different and delicious. And fresh.
That is correct.
Yeah. Next one is kind of along the lines of that bureaucracy one that we spoke about. In Brazil, you need, it's called a CPF, CPF number for everything. Like we tried to get a cell phone activated, like just a cell phone SIM card that you would get at the convenience store. I, as a Canadian, without a CPF, could not get that done on my phone. Jean had to get it done because he has one. Obviously, he's Brazilian. But you need this number for everything. Even if we wanted to get internet in our house, we need the CPF. I guess it's similar to a social insurance number here in Canada. That's the only thing I could really equate it to.
Yeah.
But that would be like turning around and giving out your social insurance number every time you bought groceries or ordered something online. I couldn't, as a Canadian, order online groceries because I needed to put in my CPF.
Yeah, exactly.
I would starve. No, I wouldn't starve.
That's one of the things that I truly believe that we need to improve. Granted, this is our experience when we went to Joao Pessoa and we tried to do this. It might be the case that we go to another place and they can allow you to do this. If this is the case, please do share in the comments below, because that's the kind of stuff that we wanted to hear,
and we still need to figure all this stuff out too, right? So if there is some way that I can get around not having a CPF, I'm not sure there is, but if there is, let us know.
Please, too.
I really need one.
CPF is like a must.
Yeah, especially because we need to transfer the house into our name still.
That is correct.
Definitely need one for that. Next one, traffic. Brazilians don't really follow any traffic laws, guys. And it's just the motorcycles. In Canada, the space between two cars on the road isn't a line just for motorcycles. It's actually against the law to run between those two cars here, but nope, not in Brazil. It's zoom, 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 zoom.
It's a specific lane for the motorcycles. It's just like, keep them straight. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy,
it's a
but
lot of cars.
I believe that they are trying, to reduce the traffic. Kind of, if they just stand behind, it is not gonna work, and they think maybe I can go ahead and stay the other one.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So when you are driving in Brazil, be careful and think 2 or 3 times before switching lanes, because there is gonna be somebody behind you and you don't even see it. So that's
you check your blind spot once and you think you're good. No, before you do it again.
2 more times,
or 3.
And I love riding motorcycles. I use it too. I don't think that I'm allowed now.
Especially in Brazil.
I had a motorcycle back in Brazil. Nothing happened to me, but I was never driving. Sometimes, yes, like, following the lanes, but it doesn't happen often.
I don't think he was. I'm going to go with he didn't do that. All right. The next one that shocked me, because if you tried to do this in Canada, you would get the dirtiest look. But in Brazil, it is completely acceptable to send back warm beer. If your beer doesn't have ice crystals in it, it's not cold enough. And you can send that back and nobody's going to complain. Nobody's going to say, what do you mean it's not cold enough? Drink it. Nope. In Brazil, you get to send that back.
Cold. It's gotta be cold. And you can even see on the fridge what is the temperature that you have, right? So go to a bar, go to a restaurant, you pass by, and you'll see here's the temperature of the fridge, and you know that the beer is gonna be cold. If it's not cold, go back.
Every time we ordered beer, and you get like the big beers too. It's not just like these one serving size. No, you get like a big half-liter beer in like its little insulated container. But what did you say? You said, is it
Bem gelada, geladinha.
Geladinha.
Yeah, we always have like the shortening things at the end. Gelada, geladinha.
The 10th thing I believe that shocked me about Brazil is how technologically advanced they are compared to Canada. And I say this because they use WhatsApp for everything. You can pay over WhatsApp. They also have Pix. There was, God bless them, there was this person who was, selling items for a small amount of money to raise money for their family. They were selling candies or whatever. We had no cash, but the people we were with asked him if they accepted Pix.
Yep.
We Pixed money to the guy selling little chocolates on the corner.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. You don't need to carry cash if you have a Brazilian bank account. You can literally Pix the guy squeegeeing your window at the intersection if you want to.
Yeah, and it's when you don't have like a reason to say, I'm sorry, I can't do it, because everybody, they do have Pix in Brazil. I don't have cash, but I accept Pix. So I don't have Pix, but I accept credit cards. So you name it. So
it's everything. Pix is like e-transfer, but it's bigger, like it's wider. Like you Pix everything. You Pix the restaurant for your meal. You Pix the guy on the street for whatever. It's everywhere. You do it for everything.
And even with Interact, it does take a few minutes until you get the money on your account. Pix it's instantaneous. You complete it, the transaction, the person receives the money.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. You go and buy a caipirinha and the person says, can you please me, or how are you gonna pay? Are you gonna Pix? And you just show your phone, here's the Pix transfer, and he checks his phone, okay, I've got the money.
You walk away with your drinks. And that's on the beach in your bathing suit where you don't have any pockets or cash.
Yep.
But everybody has their cell phone.
They definitely do.
Never leave home without your cell phone. So those are the 10 things that's really shocked me about Brazil. And some of them, like, I get shocked. I shouldn't be shocked. Some of them really did shock me. They were very surprising. But there's one bonus one that shocked me but didn't shock me, but I think is really important and very much worth mentioning is the people. The people in Brazil are unbelievably amazing. Everybody is so friendly, so welcoming. They all want to ensure that you're enjoying yourself, having a great time.
Yeah.
And as a foreigner coming into a country like that, coming from a country that can be considered somewhat cold or standoffish until you get to know people, it's really enjoyable. So I want to say thank you to the Brazilians for really showing me love and acceptance and a great time. And I hope everybody gets to experience Brazil, because these are all good shocks, I think, and I think everybody should have to experience them at some point.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an interesting country, and we are, sometimes people talk about corruption, and there's quite a lot, and this is the reason that most Brazilians decided to leave Brazil. That's what happens with me. But at the end of the day, the people who stay there, and of course my family is still there, so they love, they are happy with the lifestyle that they have.
Very proud people.
They just need to live with whatever they have.
Yeah.
So find ways to live and be happy with what they have.
And they are happy. The vast majority of people, no matter what their socioeconomic background is, you will hardly ever find a Brazilian without a smile on their face.
Nope, that is correct.
So, those were the things that really stood out to me on my time in Brazil so far. I have no doubt when we actually start living there on a more full-time basis, there will be more. But those are the ones that kind of stuck out to me and I thought might be kind of fun to share with everybody today.
Nice. If you have been in Brazil, or if you are planning to go to Brazil, share in the comments below some of the experience that you've had. And we are happy to share, and reply to the comments and the questions that you might have. Granted, I've been living here for 20 years. I am more, I'm getting to a point that I'm more, crossing the line more in living in Canada rather than in Brazil.
He's more Canadian than Brazilian sometimes.
Yes, but share in the comments below. So we would love to hear your comments. I didn't say me, I did say we.
But he's going to be the one answering them probably because I'll only be able to tell you about the drinks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it. It was a fun video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good day. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of your journey. Take care. Stay safe. Bye. I think that was a good one, amor.
Were you shocked by my choices?
Some of them, yes.
That is a blooper for sure. We're totally putting your nipples in the bloopers.
And I moved the.
What's that?
I was the.
What?
The
Your microphone?
Rode microphone. Yeah.
Did it come out?
No, I don't
reaches
think
all
so.
the way to the-
It does.
Oh, wow. Does that mean you're short?
It does mean I'm short. Yeah. You're always right.